Toucan Play That Game is proudly sponsored by NiceGameShop.com, the place to go for rare and unusual Asian games. Hi, I'm Michael. Take a seat while I tell you about Stone Age from Z-Man Games. In this game, we each have our tribes of villagers and we'll be sending them out to various locations, both in the village and also to locations externally to collect resources and do various tasks in order to build up our tribe to be the best tribe there is. The way this will work is we'll pick a first player for the round. They'll start by picking a location and placing any number of people they want at that location, depending on the location. You see, some of the locations can only have a certain number of people, dictated by the circles, whereas one location, the plains here where you go hunting, you can have any number of people. The plains you'll be getting food from. You get wood from the forest, you can get clay from the clay pits, you get brick from the mountains, and from the river you're able to pan for gold. You're also able to go to the river and get technology cards, but these are going to cost you resources to do this. You can also use resources to buy huts. Now, these will give you victory points or give you resources or set collection with regards to the cards. There are two different types of set collection. So some are going to multiply other things to give you points, and some have these pictures on. The pictures, the more you have, the more points you're going to get for them. Once everyone's finished going around and placing their people, and the final locations you could go increase your agriculture, meaning it's easier to feed your tribe. You can go get tools, and I'll explain these in a little bit. And you can also go get new villagers by using 2 people at the breeding hut. And that is the game. You resolve these spaces. For most of the ones near the bottom of the board here, you don't have to roll any dice. There's no randomness. If you go to the building, you just give up resources. Things that cost resources, you just give the resources up. Simple as that. These ones in the village, there's no rolling. However, the gathering of resources, you roll dice. For the number of people you took to that location, you rolled that many dice. You do it in this smelly leather cup here, which I both love and hate. And I'm sure a lot of people with me on that. After having rolled your dice, depending on which resource you're going for, you'll divide it by a certain number. And it's shown on your player board, the number you divide it by. So the rarer the resource, the more you divide it by. Therefore, the more people you send, the more you get. But still, even if you send 3 people to get food compared to 3 people to get gold, you're going to get less gold than you would food because of the way the division works. Now, this division does mean that this isn't suitable really for young children. They're going to struggle to do that calculation, working stuff out. But there is a My First Stone Age version of this that will be simpler for them. So if you are looking for a children's game to play with children, I would suggest looking at that rather than this. But back to this. So you roll your dice. Oh no, my dice didn't come out as much as I want. But it's okay, because I had previously picked up some tools. I can now use these tools, and you can only use them once around, to increase the value you've got on the dice, thereby mitigating the luck of the dice. And I really like how this game has ways to mitigate that luck. I love that the dice are there and introduce an aspect of randomness and excitement to the game, which will put a lot of people off. But I think it's great that you can then mitigate that. You can mitigate it by picking up more villagers so you can send more people. Even when you don't have more people, you can still just, I really want this thing, send lots of people to do it. So you're rolling more dice, the chance of you getting more are higher. You can mitigate it by picking up tools. So I really like that it has that it has a lot of randomness, but there are ways to mitigate that randomness, and there are kind of different paths to victory you can go. You can go heavily into just getting huts quickly, you can go after the set collection, you can go for a bit of everything. I love that it has those options. This game is a very good game to me. I really enjoy it. And it's quite a basic game. The amount of luck means that for a lot of more experienced gamers who are after a heavy strategy game are gonna be disappointed. However, as I've said, I like that aspect of luck in it. I don't think that it's more luck heavy. I don't think it's just a case of whoever rolls bets is going to win. It is about your decisions, about choosing what to go after, when to go after it, where to place your people, because it's that worker placement element of you're blocking spaces off by going there. There's an aspect of, right, well, I know that my opponent is going to want to go there. They might want to go to this other one I want to go to, but I'm not certain they do. And then you choose the order you're placing them in order to do that, because you're taking turns with the placing, even though you resolve all your people at once. So I think that's very good. I think the scaling in this game is also extremely good, because yes, all the number of locations does stay the same. But what changes is some of these resource locations, you're able to have multiple people go there with more players. And in a 2-player game, just one person can go to each of those locations. And with the village locations, only a certain number of those locations can be used each round, which means someone went to the farm, someone went to tools, no one can breed. So it balances, it does reduce it, but in a way where it hasn't reduced the number of options, it just automatically blocks stuff off, which I think works very well. What else is there to say about this? Well, the production quality is lovely. You've got wooden meeples and cubes, and the different resources especially being not only different colour tokens, they're these lovely wooden components, and they're each different shapes so that they're easily identifiable even for colourblind people. I think the art on the board is absolutely cute and lovely. You've got these little Stone Age men roaming around this village, doing the various things that you're actually meant to be doing as those villagers. When you go to the individual locations, it looks wonderful. The art on the cards is wonderful. All the iconography is very clear and easy to understand in this game. It's a fantastic game. It's not a heavy game. It's a reasonably easily accessible game. I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a gateway game. It's maybe slightly gateway plus. But if you're looking, you've done a bit of gaming, you're looking to get into a worker placement game, this is the one I would always recommend to start with. It's the one that has the most luck in it, so that balances some of the potentially poor decisions might be made to a small amount, but not completely. And it's still got enough meat on its bones that even me as an experienced gamer will happily sit and play this. So that is my thoughts on Stone Age by Z-Man Games. I do hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, please do check out the rest of the videos on the channel. It's worth sharing and subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.